much. I don't claim to have chosen my clothing myself.
It's okay.
Ryan, do you want Lucy in
It's
the
okay, I
picture
didn't choose
now?
mine.
Lucy's going to be coming in with the rings during part of the ceremony.
Okay. So then after...
Sarah's over there wondering whether she needs to come up or not.
No, not right now.
No.
Okay.
Just, okay.
Do you know when to come up? After Mindy's vows, you can start headed up.
Yeah. After she says I do, you can start up with Lucy, and then I'll talk about the rings.
Oh, I do.
After, yeah.
After the I do. Sorry.
After she says I do. And now your parents know when they...
Yeah, so they know that when Mindy and her parents get here,
And Mindy's been delivered to Ryan.
yeah, then the parents all go.
Then we'll... Which way do we exit?
Awesome.
Which way do you want us to...
Whichever way.
We'll go out this way.
Okay. And then you and Mindy will turn around and face this way. Okay.
A lot of chat going on.
I bet. Some Blue Jays.
I better do good. My mom's watching.
Your mom's watching?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, they're live streaming. I'm like, I know, bro. I got the email.
Just moms. They'll always be moms.
Oh, it is working. Mike.
Mom, they can hear you on the live stream. So you're talking to the live stream right now. Say hello to the friends on the internet.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. So thankful for cool.
The breeze is fantastic.
Yeah, that breeze is wonderful.
Let's keep it up, please.
I noticed. It's okay. Where's everybody else's chairs? They didn't bring them.
Yes. Keep coming. You might need a single one.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Is she coming? All right.
You're not looking at us. Oh, that's what you said.
That's all right.
You look beautiful, Mindy.
Oh. All right. Who takes this woman to be married to this man?
Her mother and I do with praise and thanksgiving.
Yes.
All right.
Who has your bag? Grandma on the spotted bag.
So you guys want to
Others
turn and
there.
face me? Oh, you
You go,
go.
Mike.
Did you tell someone that you
Mom.
Okay. So, all right. I want to welcome everyone, family and friends, to this wonderful, special day in a beautiful surrounding, God's chapel. When I first met Mindy in 2004, when she came to the Adventist Review as an intern, little did I realize that God had given me a lifelong friend with whom I would share Shrek movies and insane giggling, but also be able to come and share this moment with her and her beloved. As Ryan, Mindy, and I went through our Zoom premarital sessions, now that was interesting, several things became evident. Number one, I like Ryan. It was so nice to see him in person here. Number two, have you noticed that Ryan and Mindy look alike? I just thought that was so cool. Number three, I truly believe that God had prepared them to come back together for this day and this journey. And number four, Ryan and Mindy share the same values, the same goals, the same dreams. And I say that especially with that last point because it was revealed to me as we were going through our time together in premarital counseling. You know, I've done premarital counseling for many marriages, and their inventory, we did a premarital inventory, revealed such a unity such a harmony with their desires, their goals, their dreams. And so, well, this inventory tool called them a vitalized couple, and they truly are. As we were going through our time together, it was just evident that as God brought them together, they're looking in the same direction. And so that was just a wonderful time with them. But I also told them, as I'm going to share with you, they have a very strong foundation for their relationship. But it doesn't mean it's a free ride. Doesn't mean it's a free ride. What it means is that they have the opportunity to build on this relationship and develop it over their lifetime. And just, I think of their lifestyles, and I liken it to, okay, you two run and cycle and do outdoor things. You could say, okay, I've just done a 26.3 mile marathon. I've just, swam 5 miles. I just did, hundreds of non-modified push-ups, which is my goal in life, but you guys can probably do it now. But, you can't do that and then say, okay, for the next 50 years, we're just not going to do anything. So, they have a strong foundation on which to build. But I want to talk to them about what they can do to build on that strong foundation. And to do this, I want to share it through some of your values. But I want to tell you just one thing. Mindy's worked hard. She wanted just a simple, beautiful wedding with her and Ryan. And I think she's like a lot of our brides. Let's just elope. Let's just elope. No, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I tried that on my husband. He said, no, we're going to have our wedding. So, but she wanted it simple beauty. And so I have one point I want to share with you. One point, and that is love is a choice. Love is a choice. Now that may not seem very romantic as we watch Hallmark movies, thinking that love is a choice. But even though today, on your lovely wedding day, where you can't even imagine not loving each other, and it's effortless, and you just can't wait to start your journey. It takes effort, just like anything you guys are going for. And so, as I said, you guys, this is who you are. I'm so glad you were able to start your journey in a place that's comfortable and represents who you are. But as you do your active lifestyle, it takes training, doesn't it? It takes patience. It takes discipline to achieve those goals and those dreams that you want to achieve. And so loving each other, love being a choice, what that means is on those days where you may wonder, okay, will I choose to love her when she may get angry, when she may get defensive, when she may just not be in a nice mood? Will I choose to love him when I feel like he's overbearing, when I feel like he just doesn't understand? And so these are the choices we make. This is our task. Will you choose to look beyond the behavior and look at the heart? That's our task, and that's your task. And it doesn't mean you overlook harmful behavior or inappropriate behavior, but what it says is, I want to understand why you're feeling that way, why you're acting that way. I want to be an agent of healing for you. I truly want to understand. But we are human, and sometimes the best laid plans don't always work out. And I'm sure many of you here, like me, you have the idea of, okay, this is how I want to respond if we have a disagreement. And in the heat of the moment, your plan doesn't always work out. But welcome to the human race. But now, I know you two are outdoors people. You may not be sports fans, but I don't know if you watched the 2020 Super Bowl. The Chiefs and the 49ers. Now, I'm not a huge sports fan, but that was an amazing game. I'm not going to tell you who I rooted for. We could have a little disagreement here. But what was interesting, just a short recap, the The Chiefs had not won a Super Bowl in 50 years. They had a 50-year drought. And so the game was tied 10-10 at the halftime. Third quarter, the 49ers began to pull away with a field goal and a rushing touchdown, giving them a 20-10 lead heading into the fourth quarter. However, and it was just these last few minutes, the last 6 minutes and 30 seconds of the game to be exact, the Chiefs completed 2 touchdowns, and also they took the lead into the 2-minute warning. The Chiefs then stopped the 49ers on defense in a late rushing touchdown, and it was awesome if you didn't see it. Interception sealed the victory, and they won. Now, again, it was an amazing game, but what does this have to do with you? Well, you could imagine that at halftime, 10-10, there was a standstill. These teams, they regrouped. They refocused. They planned. They got a different plan. And you know, sometimes in our relationships, we have a standstill. We have a standstill, especially when two people have strong minds. As one of our friends has told us, they said, you know, if you never disagree, one of you is unnecessary. So there are going to be times, because you two are very strong-minded, intelligent people who love each other, and sometimes you're going to have a standstill. But the trick is to think about, okay, when there is a standstill, let's step back, let's refocus, let's replan. And what that might look like is, even when my husband and I, we have strong minds, and so if we're at a standstill, what he'll do is he will throw some little humorous zinger in the game and totally change the whole course. Mm-hmm. And humor is a gift for marriage. And so I want to encourage you to remember that there will be standstills in your marriage. There will be a time when you're just in this headlock, not physically, but you know. And so how will you look at it? And that's where you will draw from. Love is a choice. I am going to choose to understand. I am going to choose to listen. And I will choose to refocus, because we want this game, if you will, to win, to be victorious. Now, Mindy is a writer. I don't know if you're a writer, but our background involves our love of writing. I know you've experienced time as a writer when you just don't feel like you have anything to say. When you sit down and there's a blank page. And you ponder because you know there's a deadline coming around the corner. But you don't know what to say. Well, as one writer has said, half the battle is showing up at the page. And so what you do is you sit down, you look at that screen, you start typing, and then the words begin to flow. The creativity and the imagination come up from that well inside of you, and words come on paper. You know, the world tells us that when we stop feeling the feeling we feel when we feel the feeling, that it's over. Adios. Time to move on. It's just too hard. But that's when God tells us that love shows its true colors. That's when God tells us that we need to continue to show up at the page, even though we may feel it's blank. Even though we may feel it's blank. This is when we have the opportunity that our Creator gives us to reimagine, to pull out that creativity, to resurrect what we may feel or not feel at that time at the blank page. Because, you know, marriages, beautiful marriages, have ebbs and flows. And I know Roy and I have found, as we've gotten over the years, you have those peak times, you have the valley times. But as you show up, as you just hang in there, those times your love will go deeper and deeper and deeper. And so it's hard to imagine, but 30, 40, 50 years later, your love, it'll be different than it is today. But it'll be a different, beautiful love. It'll be a deeper love. Because you showed up at that blank page. And you may not have many blank pages, but in life throws us blank pages at times. And I stand before you not as an expert in love, but I have a few years' experience, and I have spent, in my 36 years, I have spent times hiding from intimacy, and I have spent times embracing intimacy. And I can tell you that those times that I have embraced it, truly embraced it, were those times that I allowed my defenses to come down, my pride to be set aside, my weaknesses to be acknowledged, that it brought healing, it brought depth to our marriage. Those were the times that made the commitment on this day real. That's what's going to fuel that time. Because, vulnerability begets vulnerability. And when we allow ourselves to put down that pride, put down that sense of it's my way or the highway, and recognize that we've got two people that look at life differently, that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. And the cross of Christ is the ultimate witness and expression of the power of vulnerability. Because vulnerability is powerful. That is what's going to fuel. It's interesting, again, during our premarital counseling time, when I told them, I said, it's great counseling teachers, because I said, we've got homework. And they didn't squirm a bit. I think Ryan even said, yes. I'm like, this is great, Not many people will say, great, homework. But, I have them homework, but I want to tell you now, your homework's not over. The premarital counseling homework is over, but you are continuing in this life journey with your homework. There's a law of life that states we take to give. And Christ is that source from which we take, because we will have nothing to give. Love doesn't produce inside of us as much as when we take from Christ, then he will produce it inside of us. But we can't do it on our own. We have to take it from him. And when we take it, we don't just take it for ourselves. We've got to take it to give. And that's where your love that will take you through a lifetime originates. It's taking that love from Christ and giving it to each other. Message Bible states John 15:9-11 beautifully, and I want to share this with you, because this is talking about how Christ took his love from the Father, and then we take it from him to give it to others. It says, I've loved you the way my Father has loved me. Make yourselves at home in my love. If you keep my commands, you'll remain intimately at home in my love. That's why what I've done, kept my Father's commands and made myself at home in his love. I've told you these things for a purpose, that my joy might be your joy, and your joy wholly mature. This is the command, love one another as I have loved you. This is the very best way to love. As I said, Jesus took his love from the Father. We take it from him. We give it to each other. Simple, but profound. Easy, but profoundly difficult. And as you do that, you will honor God in your marriage through your relationship with each other. And I know that your coming together is an honor to God. And he is going to love to work through you as you together seek to represent his character of love in your relationship. Brian and Mindy, standing here today, have chosen to love each other. And in the vows that they will now share, they will articulate how they will choose to love each other. So Ryan? Okay.
Hey, Lucy. Right. Here are my vows. I vow to seek a deep understanding of your wishes, your desires, your fears, and your dreams. I vow to respect, admire, and appreciate you for who you are, as well as the person you wish to become. I vow to treat you as an independent, capable partner in our intertwined lives. I vow to persevere when times get tough, knowing that any challenges we might face, we will conquer them together through divine help. I vow to ask for forgiveness when I hurt you and make amends in whatever way I can. I vow to daily pursue wholeness in my relationship with God so that we can have an honest, vulnerable, intimate partnership. I vow to show you for this sliver of eternity that I know exactly how blessed I am to have you in my life.
Mindy. Here we are, standing together on this day that we've been dreaming of. We've waited a long time. But you were worth the wait. Less than a month after we had reconnected, I went to visit you for the first time in Miami. And we went to the grocery store, and you instinctively held the door open and helped the lady with her cart. And she said to me, "Is he your husband?" And I laughed and said no. And she replied, "Well, don't let this one get away. You need to marry him." And I said, "I know." Even though we had a hearty and nervous laugh about it, I was already in love with your kind heart. You are generous, thoughtful, hardworking, and so much more. I'm so blessed to have you. You are indeed the one I've been waiting for all this time. An answer to my prayers and all of theirs. You are my confidant, my rock, my best friend, the one who will put up with my endless pursuit of research and my constant losing of my keys and my phone. The person who loves me in spite of my shortcomings and sometimes because of them. You help me be a better version of myself. I love you for who you are. I promise to stick by you for all the adventures ahead. I'm committed to pursuing our healthy lifestyle and working towards our goals, celebrating the bodies that we've been given and enjoying our active lives as long as possible. I promise to chase you on the bike, even if I'll never be able to be as fast. I promise to support you in your goals and your dreams. I promise to work at our relationship because what we have is special and worth protecting and building. I promise to choose to love, honor, and cherish you each day, even when it's hard. I promise you that I'll mess up, but I also promise to stand by you, laugh with you, cry with you, and rumble with you through the joys and sorrows of life. I promise to be a true and loyal friend, and I promise to seek together God's calling for our lives. I commit to you my hand and my heart from this day forward.
Ryan, and now solemnly swearing before God and in the presence of these witnesses, will you, Ryan Revere Trott, have this woman, Melinda Lee Jamieson, to be your wedded wife, to live together after God's ordinance in the holy state of matrimony? Will you love her, comfort her, honor her, cherish her in sickness and in health, in prosperity or adversity, and forsaking all others, keep yourself to her as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Okay. Will you, Melinda Lee Jamieson, take this man, Ryan Revere Trott, to be your wedded husband, to live together after God's ordinance in the sacred estate of matrimony? Will you love him, honor him, cherish him in sickness and in health, in prosperity and in adversity, and forsaking all others, keep yourself to him as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Okay, Lucy has brought the rings.
Hi, Lucy.
You look beautiful today, Lucy. These rings that Mindy is getting are a sign of the vows by which this man and this woman have bound themselves to each other.
Slide this, I'll do that.
And for as much as Ryan Revere Trott and Melinda Lee Jamieson have consented to be joined together in holy matrimony, have witnessed the same before God and this company, their family and friends, and have pledged their love to each other, and have declared the same by the joining of their hands and exchanging the rings, I, a minister of the gospel, and by the authority of the state of Georgia, do pronounce them man and wife. What God has joined together, let not man separate. And now, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Ryan, you may kiss your bride. And now I want to introduce to you Mr. and Mrs. Ryan Trott. Congratulations.
Yay. Shall we walk through the crowd
All right,
of
there's
bubbles?
the bubbles.
See if we can get in the middle of them. Huh? Stepping up here?
Yeah, sure. Let them get over there.
Okay.
All right.
I lost my bubble pipe, but they're all there. The bubbles never.
Reset pictures.